name is Michael Willingham Jr., or you can call me YU. I'm a third of Diamond District and a half of the crew, the 1978ers. Musically, the journey started for me about 95, 96. Just saw something we should do at school, pretty much. And it turned into something a little more serious when we started building with bands and just realizing that it's people that want to hear what you got to say.
For pay, they say, get it however you can, it's the American way. Kill, steal, sword, shield, if you chill then you saw.
The name, it's a lowercase y and a capital U. It's a symbol of a lot of things. If you just look at the structure of the lettering, it's a lowercase y and a capitalized U, meaning like going from like it's a growth. So to go from lowercase to capital is it's like moving up. In terms of connecting, I would say the process itself is hearing the music. The music speaks to you. If an MC is doing his job, when he hears what he's writing to or whatever, I'm listening for atmosphere. I'm listening for, when I hear this, what does this make me think of? Almost like a still picture is what I'm looking for, and I try my best to implement all the different things that hit me when I first hear it. It's always best for me to speak from personal experience. I feel like I done seen a lot, and these songs allow me to understand myself. So to finish this second album, The Earn, I felt like I've graduated past these things that I've been going through. Now the other side of that is that any album that'll follow, I don't want it to sound like that, because like I told you, I graduated past that, so I needed, sometimes it might take a minute to do the next one because you gotta gather experiences. Experiences mean a whole lot. I couldn't sit here and just say the same thing over and over and over. I've heard others do it. Like they find one style, they find one thing to talk about, and they talk about it for their whole career. And I told myself that I didn't want that. So.
That everything is happening at its own pace. That's why the letter Y, my name, is lowercase. Showing that growth come from young and up and coming, summoned by the ones before me.
I got 3 kids and a wife. So when we making these songs, I do know that in the end, my children will be listening to this. So I think about these things, think about the things that I'm saying, thinking about the direction that I'm going. And both myself and my wife, we both have an entrepreneur kind of how the bills are paid, all by doing entrepreneurial things. What that does for the kids, it lets them see that you don't have to take upon a traditional lifestyle to bring in money, and that it is possible to make a way even when it ain't really one for you. I remember there's a song on In the Rough called Late Night. It actually was done far before Diamond District and The Rough was done, but it was a little different in the other verses or whatever. But I never had to look at one of my verses the same way until a friend of mine had introduced me to another somebody I look up to, in fact, who I'm being introduced to, and he was asking like, okay, well, you know, give me something that you wrote, and he quoted me on, in my opinion, like one of my worst verses, and it was being very derogatory or whatever, and it made me have to think about the things that I'm writing. Like, is that how I want to be remembered? Even though like it was derogatory, but I'd have to tell you why it was derogatory. It actually had a meaning to it, but most people don't get a chance to get to that because they just hearing what you're hearing for what it is. But it just make you kind of pay attention to what you're doing because people are listening. it's a certain hunger that's coming from where we from. We've never been considered, as far as on hip hop, to have a sound, to have like a consistency, even on the MCs or a few different things. But all along, it's been that. It just hasn't been presented to a wider audience. A lot of that has been because we haven't been like united, and we've been kind of all trying to be the one, the one. And slowly but surely, we started understanding we gotta stick together and we gotta be a conglomerate, and put out good albums. It's nothing nobody can take from you when you put out a cohesive album. Once that's done and that's out, it's got a barcode on it, and people could go to the store and pick it up. It's done, and then you follow that up with another one, and another one, and another one. It's nothing really you can say.
Good things come to those who wait, huh? Trying to escape from it, bought on that bass drum. Haste I make from mistakes done regardless. Gotta take from that waste up the garbage. Turn the treasure endeavors to try to 7 million cleverly instead.
Yo, inspiring as far as he has an elaborate, his plan. He thinks really wide at a time, and coming from a place where we're from, where people can kind of be narrow-minded, and he definitely he's thinking years ahead, which is the way it should be. And I'm glad to come across a brother like that who would be honest and be like willing to, when you have questions, to answer your questions, and to he's got a vision, and that is very respected by me.
Blind, most of us are. Don't see it.
My partner and I, the 1978ers, myself and Slim Cat, we should be turning in the 1978ers album. Is called People of Today, in February, late January, early February. It'll probably be released 4 months after that. I got an EP in the works for myself and Oddisee. Oddisee produced the whole thing. Another project called Flying High with a cat that's on the Earn. He did Right On, if you're familiar with Right On. We did a whole project called Flying High. That should be out. And Halloween of next year, I got a project called Killer. There's something different too. Peace. This is YU, 1/3 of Diamond District, half of the 1978ers. Saying what's up to Out the Box TV. Peace.
I just let my senses lead me to destinations. They say that I'm blind. You're blind to the fact you're blind.
He got 20/20 vision and all that. He looking for a love, something he could fall back on. Eyes wide when he walking through the city like he ain't got a pretty wife at home cooking every night. But he the type to get bored and move on fast, and got the nerve to wonder why now he doing bad. Had a good thing, a queen making him a king. True, but his view coming straight from his ding-a-ling. Sipping a Yingling, slow, eyes closed now. It's been a while, still remember how our voice sound. Too many choices that distort your visioning, and blind to the facts, steady looking pivoting. And everybody else seen it, and none of them new girls meant as much as she did. It's funny how